6 years ago, we sold our house to start Ceviche in Soho, and moved to this rental. We love it more than any other house we've ever lived in. It's 100 meters from our kids' schools, and the kitchen is exactly the style we like: the high ceilings, the picture rails, the old wooden floors, and that stove. It reminds me of the open fireplaces I used for cooking in the Andes. It's a coal and wood-burning stove, which you can heat things on top of. I go to Peru several times a year to research recipes and meet chefs, and I bring back a lot of things. This lot of aprons on the wall is a fraction of my collection. Above my head is an amuleto, an Andean good luck charm that you put in your car or bedroom, and the hand-painted basket to my left is from the Huancayo region, given to me by a lady who runs a restaurant called La Tulpa. She taught me how to make an exquisite oyuco potato soup. I always bring back muna, an Andean herb that's very calming, as a tea, and moed corn, a type of giant kernel corn that is great for slow stews and soups, which are what's in those packages on the dresser. Taste-wise, it's somewhere between sweet corn and potato. On one trip to the Amazon, I had the pleasure of trying different dishes based on giant snails, and brought back that shell on the shelf bigger than a monk's fist. The kitchen is a place for creativity, fun, and happiness, for family, neighbors, and friends to come together. As a family, we did a workshop with the Carga Maxima Artist Collective in Lima. We each chose one of our family values and painted the words. I did patience, food, and music are my biggest loves. We have speakers in every room of the house, a vintage turntable, Sonos, and digital radio. I live in deep West London, but I listen to songs from the deep Andes. For fun, I often buy musically themed cooking utensils: tweezers that look like microphones, wooden spoons that look like drumsticks. We have our own Ceviche art gallery, showcasing contemporary Peruvian art, so on the kitchen walls I often have works on display. And I also have a big collection of music posters and original photography, mostly Peruvian rock and roll. The Mano Negra poster is from a legendary concert from the 1980s. I've stopped DJing full-time, but you can still find me behind the decks in Ceviche Old Street on a Thursday night. I'd only collect 7 inches these days, all retro and analog, warm, crackly fun. As you can see from the creaking top shelf, I also collect cookbooks, both vintage and new. The Alice B. Toklas book contains some crazy recipes, supposedly the first recipe for hashish cake. She was a real bohemian. I found this copy at the flea market in Paris in Clignancourt, about 15 years ago. Weirdly, I was there again a few weeks ago. I walked into an area packed with records, and on the turntable was playing Discoteca, a record I produced. My name was on the front cover. The guy was amazed and asked me to sign a copy, then he priced it at €40 because he didn't want anyone to buy it. I like to bring back little plates from my travels. I have my porridge every day in that beautifully handmade brown one behind the patient sign. I got it from Monica Alpaca's restaurant, the Picanteria La Nueva Palomino, in Arequipa. I also had lunch at Jose Lujan's restaurant in Cuzco a year ago, and he gave me that lump of rock salt from Maris on the second shelf. About 500 people work that part of the Sacred Valley, each on their own little plot, extracting salt by hand from the area where a small hot stream emerges from the earth. It was so heavy to bring back, but I didn't care. It's such a poignant memento of our country. Pumpkin casserole. My great-aunt Otilia used to make this locro de Zapallo at her house in Lima. It's an Andina dish by origin, but has variations using different meats all over South America. Served with white quinoa, this is my favorite. You can use white rice, if you prefer. This will make more amarillo chili paste than you need. The remainder will keep in an airtight jar in the fridge for up to a week. A Peruvian pumpkin casserole, courtesy of great-aunt Otilia. Photograph David Loftus. Grant serves 462 tablespoons olive oil, 1 onion, finely chopped, 1 garlic clove, finely chopped, 1 tablespoon amarillo chili paste. See below. Half a teaspoon dried oregano, 500 grams pumpkin or butternut squash, peeled and cut into 4 centimeters cubes, 1 large potato, peeled and cut into 25 millimeters cubes, 250 milliliters vegetable stock, 50 grams broad beans, 50 grams choclo corn kernels or sweet corn kernels, 50 grams peas, 100 milliliters single cream or evaporated milk, 50 grams white quinoa, cooked 100 grams queso fresco or feta, crumbled, a handful of flat leaf parsley, chopped salt and black pepper for the chili paste makes about 100 milliliters, 1 tablespoon olive oil, 1/4 onion, finely chopped 2 garlic cloves, finely chopped 2 amarillo chilies, or 2 medium heat red chilies and 1/2 yellow pepper, deseeded and finely chopped one first. Make the amarillo chili paste. Fry the onion over a medium heat for 78 minutes until soft, but not browned. Add the garlic and chili, then fry for 23 minutes more. Season, then let it cool completely. Blitz to a smooth paste, then set aside until needed. 2. Sauté the onion in a large saucepan or casserole over a low heat for about 10 minutes, or until soft, then add the garlic, 1 tablespoon of the chili paste and the oregano. Stir for 23 minutes, until the garlic has softened slightly and everything is well combined. 3. Add the butternut squash, potato and vegetable stock. Bring to the boil, then reduce the heat, cover and simmer for 15 minutes until the butternut squash and potato are just tender and the liquid has reduced a little. 4. Add the broad beans, the corn kernels, and the peas. Cover again and simmer for 5 minutes more until the broad beans are just tender. 5. Add the single cream or evaporated milk and stir to combine. Cook for a further 12 minutes, uncovered, to heat through. Season with salt and pepper. 6. Serve the stew in shallow bowls with the quinoa and the cheese on the side, and sprinkle with a little chopped parsley. Oxapampa tart. Historic Germanic migration to the Pasco region in the Andes gave Peruvians this dramatic dessert. You can use bananas instead of the plantains. Serve it with single cream or ice cream. A Peruvian tart by way of Germany. Oxapampa tart. Photograph David Loftus. David Loftus Artie Grant. Serve 6 to 8,230 grams plain flour, 125 grams butter, 25 grams muscovado sugar for the filling, 15 grams butter, 2 small or 1 large ripe plantain, peeled and diced, 1 medium-large banana, peeled, 75 grams mascarpone, 2 eggs for the topping, 1 small green plantain, peeled and cut in half widthways, 1 cinnamon stick, 3 star anise, half a teaspoon bicarbonate of soda for the butterscotch, 60 grams light soft brown sugar, 1/2 limo chili or 2 medium heat red chili, de-seeded and chopped, 1 teaspoon ground ginger, 2 tablespoons freshly squeezed orange juice, 6 black peppercorns, 150 grams castor sugar, 50 grams butter, 1 mix flour, butter and sugar together, then form into a soft pastry ball. Wrap in cling film and chill until needed. 2. To make the filling, melt the butter in a small frying pan over a low heat. Add the diced plantain and fry, stirring, for 45 minutes, or until they are lightly golden. Set aside to cool, then blitz to a puree along with the banana. Add the mascarpone and eggs. Blitz again to a smooth, pourable mixture. Set aside. 3. To make the topping, put the plantain halves in a saucepan and cover with water. Add the cinnamon and star anise. Bring to the boil on a high heat. Add the bicarbonate of soda, then reduce the heat and simmer for 15 minutes, or until al dente. Drain and slice the plantain into 1 cm thick rings. Set aside. 4. To make the butterscotch, put the light brown sugar, chili, ground ginger, orange juice and peppercorns into a small saucepan with 10 centimeters of water over a medium heat. Bring to the boil, then reduce the heat to low and simmer very gently for 10 minutes, or until the sugar has dissolved and the liquid has reduced to a syrupy consistency. Strain the syrup into a bowl. Set aside. 5. Melt the castor sugar in a heavy-based saucepan over a medium heat, shaking it so that it covers the base evenly and resisting the urge to stir. When it has turned a light golden brown about 67 minutes, reduce the heat, then add the butter. Whisk to a smooth sauce, then add in the spicy syrup. Whisk again to a rich caramel. Set aside. 6. Set the oven to 170 C335 FGAs 3. Take a 23 cm wide non-stick oven-proof skillet or shallow non-stick tin. Pour in the butterscotch, top with plantain slices and cover with the filling. 7. Roll out the pastry, then lay it on the filling. Tuck in the edges. Slit the dough to let the steam escape. Bake for 30 minutes, or until golden. Rest for 1 minute, then turn out the tart. Serve in slices. Martin Morales is an award-winning Peruvian chef, cookbook author and restaurateur and DJ at Martin Ceviche. This is an extract from Andina, the Heart of Peruvian Food. Artie Grant, out now.